The new Overwatch 2 meta is here, and you won't believe how strong it is. In fact, this new meta is so strong that in Overwatch League's postseason this past week, 5 heroes all had a 92% or higher pick rate. 92! Keep in mind, Overwatch League plays on the next patch that is not out for us normies yet, so Overwatch League is our first look at what is being tested and ran by people who play Overwatch 2 full time. This composition from this past week is the most picked in the league's history from what I could find, even beating out the old GOATS comp. In this video today, we're going to cover all you need to know about it and touch on what makes each hero so strong in this meta. Before we get into it, however, check out our website. We have a much more detailed set of guides guaranteed to help you soar up the ranks and improve insanely fast. Follow the link down below or go to GameLeap.com to start climbing hard and popping off. So the important thing to note about next patch are the nerfs and hero changes that are coming along with it. First up is Zarya, who has been a monster lately and is getting a massive nerf to her bubbles. The duration has been reduced by 20% and the cooldown has increased from 10 to 11 seconds. This has brought her down just enough in power level to get replaced by Monkey, who now provides much more sustain for his team, which we will get into. The second important change is Sombra, who has received some serious gutting as a character that has pretty much seen her get totally replaced. Her hack's ability lockout has been reduced from 1.75 to 1.5 seconds. You can no longer rehack the same enemy if they are under the effects of the hack, including the damage boost duration, and her damage boost has been reduced from 40% to 25% against hacked targets. This has seen her nosedive down the power rankings, and she has since been replaced by the far more aggressive Reaper. These two nerfs have dictated a lot of the meta change coming, so getting into it, we are going to cover each hero one at a time in this new meta and talk about what makes them so strong before we wrap up and explain the composition as a whole. In this meta, we have Reaper, Sojourn, Lucio, Kiriko, and Monkey, and we are going to go in that order. Before we do, be sure to like and subscribe for more high quality Overwatch 2 news and educational content. Okay, starting with Reaper, his power comes from his very chunky and steady damage. Reaper has a 90.1% pick rate. He's one of the few heroes in the game that can seriously enter tanks and has a ton of power at close range. With the reduction of stuns in Overwatch 2, he has seen a massive boost in power level as he can sustain in those close range fights for much longer and not have to worry about being stunned and insta-killed. His Wraith lets him sustain against danger when he gets low, as he can be healed yet cannot be shot, and of course he gets a reload as a nice sweetener. The teleport allows for him to be an effective diver with the right composition or team help, and his ultimate is actually extremely potent in Overwatch 2. Overall, his kit went from being one of the most mediocre in Overwatch 1 to now one of the best, with all of his abilities actually getting seriously high value. Plus, his high damage output is now much more sought after. The nerfs to Sombra have opened the door for Reaper to take her place as the aggressive high damage pick hero. Next on our meta hero list is Sojourn, which should honestly come as no surprise. She is really just the all-around best pick, and it shows since she has the second highest pick rate at 99.2%. Sojourn is one of the most broken heroes we have seen in Overwatch history. Her versatility is absolutely asinine. She has a ton of mobility, tons of pick potential, tons of steady damage output, her hitbox is one of the harder to hit ones, her ultimate is great, and she fits into most team comps just fine. Her role in this meta is to steadily soften targets and look for picks while saving her mobility to avoid aggressive dives or any immediate dangers. Our next hero is Lucio, and while he isn't necessarily broken, his speed amp and self-sustain is the most important piece of enabling this extremely meta composition. His ability to be self-reliant and avoid dives with his wall ride and his boop, and appeal for teammates who are caught in a bad space, as well as his speed amp serving as a powerful initiation tool, are all extremely key elements that let this composition thrive. It's really important for the Lucio to be able to speed boost his Reaper around, since Reaper's mobility is going to mostly come from Lucio, which will allow him to chase down targets and close distance to get the most value out of his high damage shotguns. Lucio has a 95.5% pick rate, second highest pick rate. 2 Lucios every single game. That is absolutely, utterly insane. The problem with not running Lucio is that running anything else just makes your backline so weak that they are open to the meta comp just running them over and rolling them, which translates into a very easy win for the enemy team. So with that, Lucio is our technically most meta pick. Moving on into our second support, we have Kiriko. Kiriko has a 95.3% pick rate, and Kiriko's kit is honestly just as ridiculous as Sojourn's. She has high damage, multiple ways of getting invulnerability, a ton of mobility between having wall climb and her teleport, an AoE immunity grant that also cleanses various effects including anti-grenade and different kinds of stuns, even Earth Shatter, which I feel is just so unnecessary. Poor Reinhardt. Her ultimate is totally ridiculous since it charges so fast and has such a massive win potential. I mean, seriously, giving your entire team speed, increased fire rate, increased cooldown rate, increased reload speed is just ridiculous. It's honestly as if Nano Boost affected the entire team, except this ult's effects are arguably even better than Nano Boost. All of this, and we didn't even touch on the fact that she has 120 damage headshots. She does almost as much damage as Cassidy and with a similar fire rate. Her role is to keep her team alive and dive alongside them while being hard to kill. All the while she is a heavy contributor of pick potential and general damage. And the final piece of this stupidly OP meta is going to be Monkey. Winston has a 93.7% pick rate, which is definitely odd because you would think that a Reaper meta would make Monkey weak, but with Zarya more or less out of the picture due to this comp's ability to simply bulldoze her, Monkey seems to be the king of the tanks right now. His bubble creates a ton of sustainability for his team, and his mobility allows for him to initiate and engage alongside his hypermobile teammates between the Reaper teleport and the Lucio speed amp and the Kiriko teleport and Sojourn just being Sojourn. He has great space making with his bubble, good cleanup potential on low health targets, great burst damage with his right click melee and land combo, and is overall simply the best tank for fighting in this meta. It's worth noting the second highest tank pick rate was Orisa, but overall none of the tanks really stood up to what Monkey can get done. Between his mobility and again the sustain he provides for his team, he really just fits this meta extremely well. So how does this meta work exactly? Simply put, your Monkey opens up engages and you all follow him with your cooldowns. It's important that the Monkey doesn't just brainlessly dive into the enemy backline as soon as the fight begins, because with the Reaper and Sojourn picks you do actually have a ton of pick and poke potential. The important thing is that at any moment your Monkey can engage, so if a target gets hit by Sojourn's rail, your Monkey dives in and the team follows. Overall, the composition just has too much mobility and burst damage and pick potential to really run any other heroes. Anything slow just gets walked at and bubbled off, as in the Monkey drops his bubble on the target to split them from their healers since healing doesn't go through bubble, and your Reaper and Sojourn just obliterate the target's HP. There isn't much to run to counterplay this comp, it's just simply too strong. Honestly, I think that this is a massive problem. The last time a meta was this strong was back in the dark ages of Overwatch 1, when either Goats or Double Shield was running rampant. Goats comp had a somewhat similar playstyle with Rein, D.Va, Zarya, Lucio, Zen, and Brigitte, mobility and high damage output, and anything hypermobile generally could not compete with the massive sustain and close range damage that Goats had. And do you know what Blizzard's solution to this problem was? Roll Q. That's right, something as crucial and important to the game today as Roll Q was a byproduct of Goat's meta being so strong that it simply could not be balanced out despite Blizzard's attempts. They had to go and create an entire limiting system to stop the endless torrent of one of the worst to watch metas in Overwatch history that was actively driving out players from their game. So now this honestly begs the question, now what? If this comp is so strong that it has a higher pick rate than another composition that was a precursor to Roll Q, how are we going to deal with it moving forward? Blizzard may just have to cave in on the reluctance to nerf new heroes such as Sojourn. Historically, the newest heroes have always been the one causing issues, and this meta is no different story. With Goats, it was Brigitte, who was new at the time and caused problems. With Double Shield, it was Sigma, who was new at the time and caused problems. So with Ramattra coming soon, and two of the newest heroes being overwhelmingly high pick rates in this meta, we can only have faith that things change for the better moving forward. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would change to try to combat this super oppressive meta down in the comments below, and let's run a little thought experiment. Don't forget to check out our website and like and subscribe for more high-level educational and news Overwatch content. I'll see you all again soon. Take care and peace.